Hi, I'm Ruth from pebblecollections.com. With this pebble, I hope to pass on some revealing secrets to an action many find hard to do. All of us at some point in our lives need it, want it, or asked to do it. To forgive is an action that to some is achievable, but to others extremely difficult or even impossible. What is more ingrained in our human nature is that of revenge, resentfulness, bitterness, and anger. They hurt me. They don't deserve forgiveness. I'm not going to make light of forgiveness here, as forgiving involves a process that to some is scary beyond reason. However, a shadowy image of pain disguised in the darkness can be made less daunting if brought out into the light. With the secrets of forgiveness revealed, I hope to lay threadbare the controlling power of unforgiveness and uncover a way through. It's the other person's problem or fault, right? They're the ones who should be apologising. Why forgive them when grace is undeserved? Why forgive when you know you're just going to be hurt all over again? You may not see the effects of unforgiveness immediately, but left unattended, the undermining effects will grow silently, invading into areas of your life and within new relationships in ways you will not expect. It will be eating away at you from the inside out and possibly turning into a way of living life. Through the veil of unforgiven pain, there will also lie the potential for you to unsuspectingly hurt others around you. Old friendships that have weathered the test of time can be lost. Compounded unforgiveness in marriage will slowly dissolve away the bonds that hold it together. When no matter what your spouse does to try and make amends, their actions will have little effect. If unforgiveness is a way of life, it will turn into resentment, which turns into an attitude of hate that can lead to hurtful actions. Forgiveness, on the other hand, has the power to re-establish lost friendships and reconnect bonds that have been broken. However, it doesn't necessarily establish a relationship with a wrongdoer of immoral, unlawful, or criminal-based offences, for example. For around 6 to 7 years, I felt useless, brainless, worthless, unworthy of respect or love. My heart was like a puddle on the side of a highway, where the surrounding stones were like boulders to the water within. The puddle was pummeled dry from passing cars. The context splashed out over the highway, leaving my heart feeling empty and void of love. The strength to forgive you and continue for me came from the love of God, as He would refill my beaten heart with love every single time, like the water seeping back through the cracks and gaps of those boulders that bordered my little puddle. I still need to forgive, but how did I do it for so long? A large part of my answer is that I've been forgiven for my iniquities in the first place. As a Christian, my God promises forgiveness for my wrongdoings and mistakes. As He says, I will remember their sins no more. Forgetting wrongs like the click of a fingers is a mysterious concept to our human brains. How can one just forget something painful or hurtful wrong that was done against us? I heard a speaker once discuss this very concept of God's uncanny ability, and the clue is in the wording, I will remember them no more, which is another way of saying I will not dwell on them. A conscious, deliberate decision to not keep them, but to let them go. So therefore, God doesn't keep a closet of my mistakes behind a well-oiled door, ready to choose one and throw back at my face. That's the deceiver's job. This is why I need Jesus to clean out all of my guilt or shame, as He has the authority to do so. With repentance and then forgiveness in my heart and a clean slate ready to move forward, I have no right to hang on to this forgiveness, but I'm free to pass it on. Of course, in our lives, the other needs to know that they're hurting and how, to be given the chance to correct their ways. Importantly, forgiveness by no means gives the hurter the right to keep on hurting. They must face up to whatever they have done wrong or are doing. It is not their ticket to get off scot-free without recompense or consequence. That ticket of freedom belongs to you. Forgiveness is freedom from hurt. So you're no longer controlled by it or held back, allowing you to move forward. Without forgiveness, you're effectively allowing the event to hurt you repeatedly, crippling you from living, reducing life to just existing, and robbing you of joy. The other day I was treated similar to, and therefore reminded of, a recent painful era of my life. I found my finger and thumb working hard at each other. It's my body's response to it being stressed or tense over something. Once I took notice of the signs, I started the analytical process of working out why. I realised I was mentally chewing over the way something was said to me. This cognitive action of mine gave permission for the old lies to return. Lies that implied who I am, of being worthless, not worthy of respect, understanding or compassion. Therefore, all the hurts of that time was allowed to come rushing back and drag me down. I realised I hadn't let the moment go. The effect it was having was like what I spoke about in my bullying and peer isolation pebble. I was accepting ownership of the attitude that was displayed towards me as my problem. I deserved the attitude as it being true about me. Even though I had confronted the attitude and stood my ground, I hadn't let the moment go. Because of that, the feelings were returning to bite me on the butt, and the consequences for me in this case were, 1, the physical outworkings of stress in my body, and I was being psychologically controlled by that situation. Before I touched on grace-based forgiveness given to us through Christ, the meaning of Easter, how do I pass that forgiveness on to another from a human perspective? By extension, how are we to approach forgiveness? What is forgiveness and how, as humans, is it done? So here is my take on the what and the how. Forgiveness is letting go of the right to hold a grudge. Then the winds of time will blow the memory into forgetfulness. Now reverse it for clarification on the how. You cannot forget what time has not blown away. Time cannot blow away what you haven't let go. And you cannot let go what you haven't forgiven. I'll repeat it, but slightly differently. You cannot forget something that time hasn't blown away. Time cannot blow away what you're still holding on to. And you won't be able to let go of that hurt which has not been named as forgiven. Forgive is a verb, a word that is action-based, requiring you to do, think, feel, or say. And that action is letting go. It's the action beneath the word forgive that is the true struggle. The letting go is where we can get stuck. So by now you may be getting a little on edge as I'm drawing you too close to the guts of it all. Please bear with me a few moments more as I unpack the concept of letting go by revealing to you its secrets. First, I'd like to start with the definition of delimit, which means to fix or mark the limits or boundaries of. So, if something that is time delimited, it's fixed or has limits with time. Regarding the letting go of forgiveness, there are two foundational components to highlight: memory, emotion. The difference between the two are memory is time delimited and emotion is not. So for example, if you were to ask me every little detail of what I did a week ago, I couldn't answer, because memory is limited by time, whereas emotion has no time limit. So, if something happened last week that has an emotion, good or bad, connected to or in conjunction with that memory, I'd be better placed to remember the event. The stronger the emotion, the stronger the memory sticks in the mind. If you've watched my YouTube video on past traumas and present triggers with post-traumatic stress disorder sufferers, it's the emotion part which provides the trigger's abilities to set off the bomb. So, for example, if an adolescent undealt with traumatic event is pricked or triggered within an adult, the emotion evoked would be the same now as what they were feeling as a child when the event occurred. Because the emotion in the mind is not limited by time, and the emotions the adult is feeling will be like the event just happened yesterday. So, what does the act of forgiveness or letting go actually do? It is the cognitive disconnection or the severing of the emotion and the memory from that hurtful event. The three are separated from each other: event, emotion, memory. With memory loose, this will allow the winds of time to then blow the memory event away towards forgetting. The memory part is dealt with as it slowly flies off with time. This leaves the emotional part. And as I said before, that can be triggered later in life by something or someone. The pain of the event may only be mild, and it's something you could probably handle with a whatever. However, those hurts that touch deep can be the sticking point, because to get rid of those emotions, the brokenness of your heart needs to be healed. And this means vulnerability to face that hurt, to not ignore it, not leave it in the past, or go around it another way. May I strongly recommend you do not face the hurt on your own. Chat with your soulmate, a close friend, a family member, or a pastor to help you process through your emotions. If after all the above you are still struggling, or you know you haven't been able to forgive anyone, may I suggest there is something else undermining your life, such as a hurt far beyond conscious cognitive recognition, especially past emotions that are connected to a trauma. Here I suggest a professional is best, like a psychologist. They are trained to help you through the maze of painful emotions, and I can assure you they don't do cold turkey. They're gentle. If this pebble has helped you understand forgiveness or find the releasing power of letting go has in your heart, please share this pebble on so others can experience this freedom too. Till next time, onwards and upwards.